Hello, welcome to this review of the Arteza products. Now, I've been kindly sent the Expert watercolour pencils, the Watercolours, and when they got in touch with me, I actually looked on their website and inquired about their books because I didn't actually know they did these. And I'm really intrigued about how these hold up because I've been doing some I've started nature journaling, and I was really intrigued about these landscape ones, and they actually sent me the A4 as well. They're natural linen bound. They've got an expandable inner pocket, the cold press. Yeah, they're both the same, dual-sided, acid-free, ideal for watercolour and mixed media. So the plan is, actually before I go on, I do have a discount code which I'll leave below, but it does expire in the beginning of July 3rd. Yeah, sorry, you have to excuse me, I'm feeling so excited and overwhelmed about these because when I see other people using these products, I love the colours and I'm just really excited to try them out for myself and in their own branded watercolour books as well. Right, so the plan. I am going to swatch all 60 watercolours and the watercolour pencils in the larger, obviously they're both the same paper, just different sizes, so I'll be swatching them out in one of these. Now they do come in a pack of 2, as do the landscape ones, and I will leave all the links below. Now the links below are affiliate links, which means when you do click on them, I will get like a small percentage from if you purchase anything from them. This is the first time I've actually ever done an affiliate link, so yeah, so I'm quite excited about it. So what I'll be doing, yeah, I'll swatch them in the order they come in. So, let me open this up. Oh my goodness, look at those colours. Yeah, I'll swatch them in the order they come in. I don't think they're in spectrum order in here, but once I've swatched them, I've bought myself an empty watercolour palette. It can only fit 48, so some of them obviously won't make the cut for this palette. I will be pouring them in spectrum order in this palette because I just because these come in tubes, I genuinely cannot wait to actually have a big palette of watercolours. Most of mine are travel sets, so yeah, it'd be really nice to have just these watercolours in an actual set. So I've got all the half pans, they'll be poured into here. Now, what I love before I start swatching these, what I absolutely love and I need to point out about their products is the fact that they have a light fastness rating and they have the pigment number as well. And on the actual pencils themselves, so yeah, you have the Expert watercolours, watercolour pencils, and the watercolour tubes are premium. And then when you open up the watercolour pencils, I'll show you on one, they actually have the they have the name of the colour and the number, and they have the light fastness rating on the pencils, which means a lot of these will be able to be used for artist quality artwork or artist grade. So depending, obviously this light fastness rating isn't great, it's 1 there, but yeah, I'll be swatching these out and I'll make a note of the light fastness rating and the pigment numbers as well. So without further ado, I will swatch them all out and then I will give you my honest review. Okay, so I've left it for about 24 hours now to dry, and I've got so much to say on these paints, on these products. Okay, so let's start with the journals themselves. Okay, so the quality of these journals is definitely not artist grade, but I'd say probably about student grade. The cover is like a fabric, beautiful fabric cover, and they are stitch bound, so you just have to press it down and it will lay flat. So you can see all the stitching down here, and the paper quality itself, it feels like that between it's not, you can feel it's not like an artist sort of grade watercolor paper. So when and it's very, very light, and when it feels like that sort of mid-price range quality. So I was really interested when I opened this to see how the paints would turn out. Now let me just compare it. Let me see. Okay, so let's just back up. Let's just lay the journal to one side for a moment, my review on that, and I'll bring it in after I've spoken about the paints, because what I want to talk about, it all comes together in the end. So anyway, the watercolor pencils, they are amazing. I am so happy with these pencils, and on first reflection, I was really pleased with the pigmentation of these and the range of colours as well. I do need to play around with them a little bit more, because in some areas, for the most part, they blended really well. So when I applied the water, it dissolved really well. Now you do get on some of them, you can see where between the dry pencil and then where I applied the water, and then I pulled it down, the middle bit where I started to apply the water, you can see on some of them where the pencil mark is, but that could also be how heavy I was with the pencil, how hard I pressed, and the paper quality as well. And in some of them it just dissolved immediately, so like this plum here, crimson, more like the pinks and violets, yellows as well. Yeah, so I do need to play around with them a bit more, but I'm so happy because, again, the pigmentation's really good. It dissolves really well with the water, and now I have a range of colours that I can play around with in my abstract art, because I like to make pencil marks, like do a lot of mark making, and I really wanted something like because I use Inktense pencils, but with watercolor pencils it's given me more of a color range. So for example, in this piece here, I used some Inktense pencils, and some of them I applied water to, some of them I didn't. So it'll be really interesting to see how my work turns out with this new range of watercolor pencils. So it will be like an ongoing review, but on first sort of like on first impressions, I'm really excited. I mean, look at those colours, how well they go. I'm just really excited to use those. So I'm very happy with the watercolour pencils. I have only been used to using more student grade. These are expert, it says on the tin. So yeah, I will be playing around with these a lot more, and I will continue to give my my review, my impressions of them. But I have to say, for the price range and for the colours that you get, it is very good. But here's I have to say, the piece de resistance, the watercolours. Oh my goodness. Okay, right. So this is where the paper comes in, where I'm going to be comparing it with other papers. Now, I used a archival ink stamp. The stamp itself is a swatch stamp from Little Rainbow Moon, and it timed it really well because it arrived a couple of days ago. So I then applied, like I said earlier, the watercolours in the order they came in the box. And I am really just so incredibly impressed with these colours and the range and the pigmentation as well. And here I'm learning as well about the pigment codes, and this has helped me massively to be able to whittle down 48 colours for my watercolour set, which I will speak about in a moment. But when it came to this paper now, it dried. Usually with watercolours they dry lighter, but I was really impressed with how they kept the vibrancy when they dried on this paper, and I was intrigued as to whether or not they would dry differently on a higher quality paper. So I have here, this little book is by Lotus Blue, and I can link to her below, but she creates books with cotton rag, really lovely quality cotton rag paper. And as you can see, I've already done some. This is my swatch book, so this is these are colours, Daniel Smith colours, and other different watercolours here. I think they're a mix of Daniel Smith and other artist grade as well that I've just played around with. But here I applied some of my I chose some like a colour palette that I really liked from the Arteza watercolours, and I applied them on this paper, and the comparison, now let me see if I can get you in shot here. Yeah, okay, quite trying to fit this in shot. Okay, so Ballerina Pink, when you compare the colours, so I don't know, it's not going to show, hang on a second. Right, let me take my phone down one sec so you can see. Right, here we go. Okay, so Ballerina Pink here, and then you look at it on here, it has dried softer. The colours, watercolours do dry softer on cotton rag, but when you compare, so like you've got peach as well, peach, spiced apples on the other side, let me just turn over, hang on, spiced apple, there you go, there. I was really, it made me realise, let me just put you back here, you see all my mess. One second. Okay, so it made me realise how good this paper is with watercolours. You can, it is a journal which you can use, so it says here, ideal for watercolour techniques and mixed media, so you don't have to just use watercolours in here. It is a great journal for mixed media, so I can't wait to actually explore that, and I will do another video on that, so to see how well it holds up to mixed media. Now the pages, they're very, very light, and they're textured on one side and smooth on another, but when you, when they dry, when the watercolours dry on here, they dry a beautiful, beautiful colour. You don't lose the vibrancy at all. The pages are white, which always helps with when it comes to watercolours. I find I prefer white paper. It makes the colours pop. So what I did was I looked at all the pigment colours and had to whittle down again, like I said, to 48 for the 48 tin. Now what I decided to do was, because I've got, it's almost like two sets in one, and I'll show you. So here we go. Let's move this to one side for the moment so you can see that. Okay, so what I've done here is, oh, just love this so much. I have your so like the colours which have sort of most of single pigmentation or double pigmentation in them. So as you can see here, they're quite vibrant, and then so I've gone from like your warm colours to your cool, and then to natural sort of earthy tones, and then from here I have, so like the second one here, I have put the colours which have quite a few pigments in them, and most, well, a lot of them have white to make them this pastel toned down sort of colour, and they're so beautiful and soft. They kind of remind me of sort of a vintage set that I really wanted to get from Prima. But the colours, the range of colours, there's so many. I did obviously have to leave some out due to not having enough room in here, but I do have more pans, so I can pour the others that I have left into those pans, and then maybe swap them out if I want to. But it's like, again, it's like 2 sets in one. And the colours that I left out, some of them are ones that I can mix with the single pigments. So as you'll see on here, I don't know if you'll be able to see very clearly, but so you have obviously the pale, yellow pale has 1 pigment. These they all have mostly 1 pigment in them. But then when the further down you go, it's like with these ones here, they have like 3, 4, and in one case I think there's even 5 pigments in them, and they mostly all have PW6, which is titanium white, which gives it that, again, that more opaque pastel-y sort of colour. And just look, I love these colours so much here. This is gonna really change things for me personally, because I absolutely love these colours. I definitely highly recommend them. That just goes without saying. But I think now I'm so happy with this set that I have here. This will be my main set that I will take with me for on-the-go painting. It's not too bulky and big, I think, personally. Although, you know, if I'm just going to go specifically on, go out specifically to go and paint, you know, it's fine. But if I do want to carry a smaller set with me, then I can whittle down some colours, because I still have obviously more left in the tubes, and I can, so like for instance, some of them in here, I can pour some more half pans and make a smaller set and put it in like a travel tin like this. So you absolutely 100% get your money's worth for sure with this set. They don't sell them single, so like you don't have single stock of the pencils or of the watercolours, but because of the price, it wouldn't obviously be of any benefit to them to sell them separately. But yeah, for the price, I think as especially, yeah, I guess with both. I mean, if I started to run out, I would definitely pick up another set, because yeah, I mean, these should last you a long time anyway, but if you pick up another set, then obviously you've got, obviously they're going to last you a long time anyway. So yeah, it's just for the price range, it's definitely worth it. And so I have this big 48 set, technically 60 because I have the others as well, and some left in the tubes, plenty left in the tubes to pour more. I actually poured these yesterday when I did the swatching of the watercolours in my journal, and they have started to settle and dry straight away beautifully. Now they may drop because obviously they dry out as you leave them to, obviously you set them out and leave them to dry, and then all you do is just top them up a little bit more. But yeah, I honestly am absolutely thrilled with these. Couldn't be happier. Again, my eyes just drawn to these colours. I just love them so much, and I really can't wait to paint some pieces of art with them, my abstract. Can't wait to use them. But what I thought would do before I go, so, and another aspect of these is because they're light. So for example, this one, it weighs next to nothing. So when I'm going out, and so if I do have a little set, it's so light and compact. So that's another benefit of those. I mean, I haven't really got any negatives about them. The only thing about this is it does say premium. It's not like an expert or artist grade, but still it's a good premium. And the fact that you get 2 as well in them. So you have watercolour pads here, and they do have an expert one, which I have yet to try. So the paper quality in that will be better than the quality in this. So we'll say that. So what I wanted to try before I go, let me just find my swatch. I thought that I would, let's just zoom in a little. There you go. I thought that I would just give painting like just have a little experiment and paint, just play around with the colour wheel. So I'm just going to pick, let's see, I'll just pick this one here. I'm not a purist, so you'll have to, if you are, you'll have to forgive me. But this is just, you can hear the bin men in the background. Yeah, so I'm just going to see how these colours mix together in the colour wheel. Now I've yet to to label, to write down the names, but I did, when I poured the pans, I did get a Sharpie and write on the side of the half pans straight away, because I learnt my lesson from that before. So I remember, and I made a list, got my list here, so I made a list so I know the order and I know the name of the colours, so I don't have to pull the pans out. So I was like, it took me ages, it took me forever yesterday, just making notes, writing down all the codes on the swatches and then on the half pans as well. It was really time consuming. Let's see, let's do this one here. One sec. This isn't like perfect by any means. And then we need a blue. Let's use this one here. Sorry, I can't tell you the names of each of these. Shouldn't really need a bigger brush actually for this, but it doesn't matter. I really like that sort of loose and free sort of feel. You know, when I'm doing like when I'm doing the colour wheel. Where's some tissue? Where's that red? Is that the red? Oh, yeah, that should be one. I don't know if that was all the same red, but anyway. Yeah, so it's good to sort of like play around with the colours and check what pigments pigment codes are in each colour, and then when you mix them, it's interesting to see what colours that you get. So yeah, if you just have a play around with the colours, and you can see, so like I used, obviously I can't remember the names exactly, but I could sort of tell you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Scarlet red I used, and then obviously you look at the pigment that they've used in that, and then I used, I think it was the lemon yellow, oh no, yellow pale. And then I use, what blue did I use? Oh, I'm not sure exactly what blue. Yeah, and so to get to know your colours, if you're new to like using watercolours and studying the pigments in them, yeah, play around with mixing them together. Make a note of the, yeah, the pigment codes, and then you'll see what pigments make what colours. Don't ever go by the name. I mean, I absolutely love how they've named these colours. I love like the spiced apple, they've got one called seaweed. I just love how they've picked the names of the colours. But obviously a name is it's just a name, it's not actually technically the colour. The colour is the pigment code, which you will find on not only on the box, but also you do find them on here as well, on the tubes. So I'll show you here. Along there. And then also it shows you the opacity and the light fastness rating, and there is a lot that are very good light fastness, which means that you can use these in your art if you're going to be selling it in your artwork. So yeah, that is, I think, everything. Be sure to look out for the following follow-up videos as well, where I'll be playing around with these colours in my artwork. Now, the links below, there is a link to the American site and to the UK site. They are affiliate links as well, so just bear that in mind when you do click on them. I think that is everything. If you have any questions, pop them below and I will answer them as soon as I can. And I think that's everything. So thank you so much for watching, and until next one, take care. Bye.